Good evening. All right. Just need a second as I get everything set up. Alrighty. So, we are live. As always, hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday evening. It is Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Just gonna be doing my usual as we get started. I am beat. I'm exhausted. There's not enough hours in the day. Come on. I'm not sure what I really want to do today, guys. It's been pretty quiet. The Dolphins have, as you can see in the title, Dolphins have been quiet, suspiciously quiet. And it you know, it could be nothing, but I mean, all the reports were that the Dolphins were not done. And the fact that we haven't seen any other cuts, we haven't seen any other signings, makes me think that something is in the works. You know, I know we've talked about the Dolphins signing a center. We really like J.C. Treader, but the reports are that there's not much interest there from anybody, really, not just Miami. Miami had a little bit of interest, but the J.C. Treader market has been very quiet, and I don't know. I don't know if that means that maybe there's some concerns there, some health concerns. But not sure. I'm still hearing rumblings. I'm still hearing rumors about, and I know this is crazy, but Deebo Samuels is still being talked about, and it's not going away. It seems crazy. It sounds crazy, but there's been a lot of really crazy stuff. Cam Wake out of retirement to play. Dude, from your keyboard to God's ears. Is that how you would say it? If Cam Wake, yeah. Oh my God, dude, Cam Wake would be a crazy center. He'd kill it. He'd murder. Man, if Cam Wake came back in any capacity, I would be stoked. because I guarantee you he's still in incredible shape, and I guarantee you he's still just as good as the day he left. I don't know, dude. There's it's weird because we're hearing just rumblings, right? But it's been dead quiet. I mean, no, like big rumors. No, it's just, you're seeing some of the beat writers and some of the guys that cover the team. They're still talking about this Brady nonsense. I mean, I guess it's dead. I guess there's just nothing to talk about. But it's crazy. I'm kind of ready for the season to start, but I do think something is brewing in Miami. I don't know that it's Debo at this point. I think they did have a trade in place for him at some point. But I think because we ended up with Tyreek, I think if there is still a trade in place for Debo, it probably is not as lucrative as it once was. Which, again, if you're 49ers, you're not letting Debo walk without getting some type of significant compensation. You just can't. You'd be stupid. You would have to be incompetent to just let the guy walk. It's very unlikely. But then again, I really do think Stephen Ross doesn't care about these draft picks, because I think he sees the writing on the wall that we're probably due to lose some of them because of some of the foolishness that he's done the last couple years. So don't be surprised if those 2 picks next year are gone. And we end up trading for another big name guy. There's plenty of money on the books still. I can pull up Spotrac and we can look up some of these numbers together. We can do it together. Hold on. Hold up. We can look at some of the numbers. The Teron Armstead contract was made official today, and it's a very cap friendly contract, at least for this year. I think it's like $1 million or something. Let's see. Teron Armstead, yep. He counts $3 million against the cap. Well, about $4 million against the cap. So very cap friendly this year, and then it gets kind of progressively worse, which is a little strange. I mean, they typically front load all these contracts, but I think they did this with the intention of making a run at somebody. Tyreek Hill's contract is also very friendly this year. $6.5 million, but so far it looks like we have about $11 million in cap space, and we still haven't cut really anybody. We've cut like a handful of guys. There's still somebody else in play, I believe, that Miami has in mind. We're not there yet. We'll see. We'll see what comes in the next days. Remember, the draft is about a month away. I think because we've traded most of our draft picks for this year, they may not be necessarily in a hurry to make another trade happen soon, because I think if there's another big trade that happens, it's going to be involve next year's first round draft picks. As far as remaining free agents, give me a sec as I pull these numbers up. pull these names up. Still waiting for people to kind of trickle in. There's a bunch of stuff going on right now. There's reasons on over on YouTube streaming. I think I am gonna, if we don't get a panel going on our end, we might hop over to the Finns tailgate. I think they're doing a panel this evening, so we might go raid those guys. They're running a little bit behind, but I just want to pull up here the available free agents. This is the wrong place. Status. Oops. Oopsies. Julio Jones is still out there. I like me some Julio. If they move on from Devontae, which I don't think they will. I tweeted about this. Let's pull up the Twitters. I did tweet about this earlier today, and I got some pretty good feedback. So I asked, should we keep or trade Devontae? For the most part, it seems like everybody's pretty on board with keeping Devontae. But then, I went on to ask, well, what if we get like a third round? And that's where I think third round pick is kind of where people start to change their mind on, whether they want to keep Devontae or let him go. The problem is I don't think anybody's going to give us a third round pick. He's much more likely to land us like a fifth or sixth round pick, which at that point, this is a very deep wide receiver group, but it's not in the draft. It's not that deep. So I find it a little bit hard to let him go for that. He's not on the worst. He doesn't have the worst contract in the world to work with, but he's definitely not getting paid wide receiver 3 money. We can look at I think his cap number is like 10 mil or something this year. It's not great. 8 mil. Okay, I was a little off. But still 8 mil, he's getting paid more than this year. He's getting paid more than Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow. I just don't I don't see how you can afford to keep him around. But then again, if you're not getting a good enough compensation for him, I guess you got to keep him. You're kind of stuck with him because cutting him doesn't really net you anything in particular. Anything. I can give you what that would be, but again, cutting Devontae is not. It doesn't save you much. Yeah, it saves you, about 3 mil and change. Just not worth it. Still counts. I'm curious. Yeah, 3.3 mil. You just keep him. Keep him around. Let him do some work. I think Devontae as the third wide receiver on the roster, not a bad option. I mean, there are worse there are way worse options than having Devontae Parker as your third wide receiver. The only downside is again, you're just paying him wide receiver 2 money to be your third wide receiver. But he's going to stay healthier, right? The mileage is going to be lower, so maybe it works out. Maybe it's a good idea, but we'll see. I kind of want to play a game or something, but I'm not really. Let me see real quick. We could play Rogue Tower. Could play some Rogue Tower. I love open mic. Open mic is on the Finns tailgate, so we might actually hop over there and raid those guys, raid that stream, and if they do a panel, we'll see. Let's see. So I think I don't know if this is like lame, but I really wanted to do kind of like a Miami Dolphins tier list, or I'm sorry, an NFL teams tier list, a couple weeks into the postseason. So let's see where that takes us. Let me pull it up. So let's do it. Let's get into it. And if you agree, disagree, let me know. Throw it up in the chat. But I'm going to leave the Dolphins for last because I want to keep it a mystery. I want to keep it a secret. But let's see. Let's start from the bottom with the Cheatriots, our favorite Cheatriots. The Cheatriots have gotten arguably maybe worse this offseason. They haven't made any massive improvements, and to be honest, I don't know. They have Mac Jones. Mac Jones is like vanilla wafers. Mac Jones is like Mac Jones is the saltine cracker of, and I don't mean that racially. I just mean he's the vanilla quarterback of the NFL. Mac Jones is just he's boring. And he's kind of trash. I know that's the homer in me talking. Everybody's super hyped up on some Mac Jones, and he's just not that good, guys. Mac Jones is, I think at the end of the day, Mac Jones will be a average quarterback. And I think with the Patriots, they kind of live and die by that. They really haven't improved. They lost their best cornerback in the league. I'm looking at the Patriots. They were a playoff team this year. I expect them to miss the playoffs this year. And I guess with that said, I mean, I feel like they're kind of between this B and C tier. Let's put them C tier. I think they got worse. Like last year, they were probably a B tier team. I think they're a C tier team this year. I don't think they're as good. I think Mac Jones is going to have a similar year that he did last year, which is going to be, people are going to start getting concerned. They're like, well, okay, you played pretty good your rookie season, and we want to see more. And I think they haven't really done enough to put them over the top. So excuse me. Next, let's take a look at the Titans here. The Titans is another team, let's be honest, that I think took a massive step back this offseason. Where's my screen? Hold on, guys. Okay. The Titans haven't done they haven't done much, right? Um, they got rid of Amari Cooper. Um, I'm sorry, not Amari Cooper. They got rid of Julio. Um, Derrick Henry's coming off an injury, and let's be honest, he didn't look super duper great. After the injury in the playoffs, the Titans are still a good team. But if Derrick Henry doesn't come back and he's not the Derrick Henry of old, I think they'll probably be B-tier team. If Derrick Henry comes back and he's great again, as usual, they're A-tier. But I think Derrick Henry's going to have a little bit of a down year. You can't be, again, just wide receivers. When you live and die by that one wide receiver, it's gonna bite you some point. And I think this is the year where the Titans kind of get exposed for that. Maybe I'm wrong. The Cleveland Browns. Obviously, they have Deshaun Watson. Does he miss any games this year? Man, Cleveland is the biggest unknown. I almost want to add another thing to this, like an unknown. Because if Deshaun Watson plays 17 games, they're an A, maybe S tier. If Deshaun Watson misses 6 games, they're kind of like a B, C tier. And they have still Baker. Do they keep Baker? Does Baker play while Deshaun Watson? Does he want to do that? I'm going to put them in B just because I don't know. And I'll put them ahead of the Titans because there's just too much unknown from the Browns. I'm not aware. The Jaguars, this is another really crazy unknown. New head coach. They made a lot of big splashes, early splashes in free agency, right? They were the big spenders early on. Last year, if you were to ask me, I'd say they're probably a D-tier team, obviously. If Trevor Lawrence has a good sophomore year and the pieces they bring in start to click, this could be a borderline B-tier team. I need to see more, though. I need to see that on the field. I need to see what Doug Peterson is going to bring. I'll definitely bump them up to a D. They definitely deserve an upgrade. They're not a trash team, but this is another kind of one where we have to wait and see on the Jags. The Lions are bad, guys. The Lions are going to always be bad. I feel so bad for Lions fans. I just don't know. They're on Hard Knocks. You know, when a team's on Hard Knocks, and it feels like they're always on Hard Knocks. Oh man, Detroit. I feel for Detroit because the Dolphins are very much have been that team for the last 20 years. Detroit's bad, guys. They're not a good team. They're bad. There's not going to be a lot of D-tier teams, but Detroit is one of those teams that belongs there. They could lose every game this year, frankly. Vikings are a good team. They're a playoff contender. I'm kind of stuck here between B and an A tier. This is not like an easy one for me, but I would venture to say that they're probably a high-end B tier team, right? They're not great, but they're not bad. They're good. They're really good. They just need. It's just weird because the expectations for the Vikings are always like sky high going into the season, and then they always regress. They always like let us down. You saying B tier for Vikings? I think they're a B tier team with the potential to go A tier if they can actually put it together, right? They just have to get it to work for whatever reason in season. That team, regardless of the talent they have and the coaches, they just like fall apart in the middle of the year. Cleveland is better than Minnesota. Again, I think if Watson plays, Cleveland is maybe an S tier. right? If Watson plays more than 10 games, they're an S tier. But I don't think that will happen. I think, especially after his deposition that was released today, Watson could very well miss at least 6 games, which is why I have them here. Because, and the other thing too is he may not be suspended at the beginning of the year, but imagine like something happens mid-year and he has to pay people money and shit gets weird, right? He may get suspended in the second half of the year for all we know. There's just too much weird shit there that I don't feel comfortable putting Cleveland anywhere, because if Watson misses like 10 games, they could be a D tier team, to be honest, right? Because Baker's not going to be the QB of that team. He's not going to play backup. So that's why I like, okay, and to be honest, I'll even put them at the bottom of B tier, just for that. They're such a wild card team, because I think they're the one team on this list that could very easily be a D tier or an S tier, depending on what happens with one player. That's too much. The Bucks, they're an A tier team. They're good. I mean, I don't want to put them in S tier, because I will say Tom Brady being back puts them in A tier over maybe a C tier with Kyle Trask at quarterback. Tom Brady is showing signs of regression. He's still great. I'm not bashing Tom Brady. If there's anybody that would bash Tom Brady, it's me, but I'm not. But we have to be honest. There's times last year where he didn't look like Tom Brady, that some of his throws were a little short. If Bucks or Casey ain't S tier, I'm curious to see who is. So again, I want to put Bucks S tier, but I feel like they had a little bit of a down year last year, and I think that we may see a repeat of that, which is why I don't believe that they can be S tier. And maybe I'm being too difficult, because there are teams that need to go S tier, right? I can't put nobody there, but I'm gonna leave Bucks A tier for now. 49ers. Oh, this is another tough team, dude, because this could easily be a C tier. I don't know, because I don't know what happens with Jimmy Garoppolo. I just saw a report today that after Garoppolo had his shoulder surgery, it's been harder to shop him around to other teams. So, man, I want to put 49ers as a B tier, but they could be a C tier team. They're an easy A for you, really? Defense too good, scheme too good. You're right. I mean, they're always really good, and they've been doing it with Jimmy Garoppolo. So what makes you think they'll make the play? You're right. Okay, you know what? I absolutely agree with you that they'll make the playoffs. And with that said, if you're a playoff team, like if I can say unequivocally you're a playoff team, you should go in A tier. I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's fair. I don't think they're better than the Bucks. I think the Bucks are better. So we will put it like the best teams here, and then as they go down, the worst teams. And if that's the case, I probably put the Pats above the Jags. Again, because the Pats could be a team that maybe is in low B tier, but they're solidly high C tier. The Falcons are going to be doo-doo this year, okay? Doo-doo. Hot, steamy pile of doo-doo. The Falcons are going to be trash. This is going to be your worst team this year. NCAA tier. Should we add an NCAA tier? I won't do that. I'm not going to be rude. The Falcons are trash. The Falcons are really, really bad. They have no redeeming qualities. Okay, yeah, that's it. They're bad. They're going to be really bad. Ravens. This is another team that at minimum is a B tier. Can Lamar, stay healthy this year? I'm going to put them as an A tier. and I'm gonna put them as an A tier, assuming Lamar's healthy all year. B plus, exactly. They're at a very minimum B tier. Exactly. Last year they got obliterated by injuries. That doesn't happen every year though, which is why I'm leaning towards low end on the A tier. Yes, with no injuries, they absolutely, dude. That's why I'm sticking low end A tier. I think they're better if healthy. I think they're better than everybody in the B tier. Oh no. I think in this we agree though. If I disagree, I'll let you know. I mean, we disagreed on the Bucks, right? You said the Bucks were an S tier, and I disagreed. So screw you, dude. The Bears, da Bears. I think the Bears got to be C tier. I don't. This is not a playoff team. I think they're like a 6 to 7 win team. I think they're probably in a better position than the Jags. This feels right to me. The Bears, are too many unknowns, too many wild cards. They're just the Bears. The Bears. That's kind of where the Bears belong. Trey Lance, no, Mark. Oh, no, Mac. Yeah. Coaching is shit. Agreed. C. Bengals. This is going to be a really hot take. Doing 4 things at once. Multitasker. This is going to be a really hot take, okay? I'm torn. I think the Bengals are S tier. They were in the Super Bowl last year with a dookie offensive line, and their offensive line is easily top tier. Their offensive line is top 10. They keep the run game. They keep Joe Burrow. They have Jamar Chase. Bottom A, I think the Bengals are better than every team here. Just because they have Joe Burrow, they have a way better offensive line. That defense came alive at the end of the year. I think they will continue to build off of the success that their defense had at the end of the year. And because of that, if their defense plays in the way that they did in the postseason, they're an S tier team. They're unstoppable because Joe Burrow is a madman. Jamar Chase is easily a top 5 wide receiver, if not top 3. The Bengals are scary. It's so weird to say that, but this is where I know like a lot of people would not agree with me. But the Bengals will be a Super Bowl contender again this year because they've only improved this offseason. They've only improved at every position of need so far. Cowboys are A tier, very low A tier. I just don't like. I hate the Cowboys, guys. I just really, really hate the Cowboys. I think Dak is probably one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league. They do have a great defense. Their offensive line was absolutely demolished this offseason. I think Zeke is kind of past his prime. I'm almost tempted to go B tier. I'll leave him. Out of respect, I'll leave them. Which very little respect that I have, I'll leave them bottom A tier. But yeah, Texans. This is a C tier team. Bottom C tier. They're getting better. They're massively rebuilding, right? This is a team that very well could be like a Miami Dolphins team. Their second year, right? That after rebuilding, they could make a huge leap to like a B tier, like the higher B tier. But until then, I don't think they're better than the Jags or the Bears. I need to see it. So bottom C. The Colts are a weird one, man. I want to say they're out like a high C tier. They're kind of like high C, low B tier. I'm going to leave them high C tier. I think the Colts with Matt Ryan at quarterback will be a contender potentially. They're going to be one of those like teams that's going to be difficult to beat, but then they're going to have games where they kind of just fall off and they can't rely on their running back to do it all. And it's going to come down to Matt Ryan having to carry the team. And while I do believe Matt Ryan is still a top 15 QB, he's not, top 5 QB right now. And with that, I think high C tier is probably where they belong. The Rams. The Rams. I'm going to put the Rams. Oh, this is tough. I really want to put them S tier. I think they're S tier. I don't think Matt Stafford's done. Matt Stafford on the Rams is a scary man. And I think they're probably better than the Bengals. If I had to put money on a team to win the Super Bowl again, it would probably be the Rams. The NFC is so weak. It's so weak. So they're gonna breeze through the regular season. I don't know what in the world the Cowboys did to make A tier. They're bottom A tier, okay? They're bottom. I have to give them some respect because they do have CeeDee Lamb. They do have Zeke, even though I don't think he's the same Zeke. And they do have an above average quarterback in Dak Prescott. Like, this is just out of pure respect for whatever little respect I have. The perpetual bridesmaid. You're not wrong. This is another, the Cowboys are another team to me like the Vikings, that the preseason expectations are so high. They're sky high, right? But I think they're very bottom A tier because their offensive line is obliterated. They've got nothing. Well, they have one guard and they have one tackle. Anyways, Chargers. They've had height since 1986. You think the Colts are better than the Cowboys? Oof. That's a hot take. I was torn on putting them in B tier. But I think the Cowboys are better than the Colts. I don't like to say that. I hate the Cowboys, but whatever. Chargers are an A tier team. This is not difficult for me. The difficulty for me, I guess, is the placement. I want to say they're better than the 49ers. Just because they have, I think Justin behind the Bucks. Okay, so yeah, we were literally right. We were literally the exact same thing. They massively improved this offseason. There's no way, if they don't make the playoffs this year, they got to fire that head coach. You add JC from the Patriots at cornerback. Their defense is incredibly upgraded. They've upgraded their offense. There's no reason why they are not an A tier team, a solid A tier team. KC is an S tier. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to have the type of year that he had last year. Even though he wasn't even that bad. Like, it's so crazy that we talk about Patrick Mahomes having like a down year. And a down year for Patrick Mahomes is still like really, really good. Bosa, Verrett, Hayward, Allen, Williams, Herbert, Eckler. Exactly. They're stacked. The Chargers are stacked. But they're stacked and they're young and they have a young head coach, right? So who hasn't shown that he's he could take the team to the playoffs yet. So we'll see. I think they will make the playoffs. They should. And if they don't, they need to fire the head coach. Chiefs fell hard. Chargers are better than the Chiefs for me. That's a hot take. The Chiefs they did lose Tyreek Hill to us. But they're in the market for a top wide receiver. And don't be surprised if Deebo Samuels doesn't end up here. Because I think they're pushing for somebody. Deebo wants out. Deebo could go to Casey, and if he does, it's basically I'd say Deebo to Tyreek is a 1-to-1 trade, right? If they gave up a similar thing. Yeah, but it's the Patrick Mahomes factor, right? I think Patrick Mahomes is good enough to carry an entire team, if I'm being honest. And maybe I'm wrong, but again, I think in a down year for Patrick Mahomes, he was still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He still took his team to the playoffs. It remains to be seen how they'll fare. The Saints are bad, dude. Saints are D tier. I think they're better than the Falcons. And I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, the Saints suck. Saints are going to have a really bad year. It's lagging. That sucks. RIP. I'm wondering. I mean, it looks like it's. Let me check. It looks like it's fine on my end. So maybe it's you, dude. Maybe you're lagging. I'll check it on another device here. But I appreciate it. Let's see. Next up is the Giants. I don't want to go too deep into the Saints. They're bad. It's a bad team. They have a good defense still, but like when you have a coaching shift and Jameis Winston is there, and I think what's his name? They just signed the other quarterback, the redhead. Whatever. The Saints are bad. Where in the C tier? I think they're probably worse than the Pats. They're kind of like, they may be like just the highest D tier team. Actually, that doesn't feel bad to me. That doesn't feel wrong. Because I think the Texans are probably better than the Giants. Yeah, I think, that's fair. I don't feel bad about that. Now, the Eagles. The Eagles may go S tier just because they're bringing back the throwbacks. The throwback green the uniforms. Okay. I'm joking. The Eagles are a really interesting team because they have a lot going for them. But execution, this is another team. Again, we talk about the Vikings. We talk about the Cowboys, teams that come into the regular season with like really high expectations, and then they just seem to underachieve. But this could be the year that, again, maybe the Eagles can put it together. I want to put them B tier. Oh man, I don't know. I'm going to put them at the bottom of the B tier. I think that's fair. It's really going to depend on Jalen Hurts, right? Like, does he take the next step forward? Sorry, give me a sec. Does Jalen Hurts take the next step forward? They've got good talented players there, but it's really QB dependent. This is another team that, like the Browns, could ascend, very easily could descend. So bottom B feels right. I think they're probably a better team than the Colts. I think this feels right. Steelers are going to be dookie. Whew. How dookie are the Steelers going to be? Because they made the playoffs by the skin of their teeth, with a really bad Big Ben. So like if they're like bottom A tier last year, I mean, I feel like they've got to be at max a bottom B tier with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. Man, I think they're worse. I don't think they're very good. Check 2 others without issue. Oh, cool. So it is you. I want to put the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to be really bad. I think this is going to be a really bad year for the Steelers. I think this is maybe a 6 or 7 win team at best. So I guess that would put them like bottom C tier, or top D tier. I don't want to put too many teams in any one category, but that feels about right. The Broncos are an A tier team. I feel really confident about this. I think they're better than the Cowboys. I think they're better than the Ravens. Do I think they're better than the 49ers? This feels right. Between the Niners and the Chargers. Russell Wilson's going to have a great year. He's got tons of weapons. That defense is pretty good. This feels right. They're a playoff team. If they're not, something went wrong. Green Bay's S tier, but I think they're bottom S tier. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. That's kind of it. He needs some more people to throw to, but they're still S tier. I think they're better than the Bucks. I think they're better than everybody here. I think the Bengals are still going to be better than the Green Bay Packers. If I had to go one to one against these two, I'd pick the Bengals. Panthers. Who's the Panthers quarterback? Is Cam Newton the Panthers quarterback? Is that their guy? I don't know. I genuinely don't know who the starter is or who's the perceived starter for the Bengals. For the Chargers. The Panthers. I think they said the door was open for Cam Newton, but man, was like even if it's Sam Darnold, and this is a bad team. Sorry, that's a bad team. That feels pretty good. The Raiders.